Summer. Everyone in Fern Hollow looked forward to the summer, to the lovely days spent picnicking by the river Ferny, and to visit the seaside. On their long summer holidays from school, the little animals go swimming and fishing or play hide and seek in windy woods. The bumblebees bumble around amongst the wildflowers. Dragonflies zoom low over the river, and no one feels very much like work, though of course there still is plenty to be done. Mr. Bramble, the farmer, was in the middle of haymaking. The hay had already been baled, and now Tugger and Mudge were helping to load it onto the trailer. Little Tuppence was too small to help, but she had a comfy ride on top of the hay. In the middle of the afternoon, Mrs. Bramble arrived with lots of lovely things to eat and drink. Then the busy badgers stopped work for a picnic. Professor Sigmund Swamp was retired and spent most of his time picnicking by the river Ferny. He had travelled abroad and lived in the tropics, and was not at all worried about the hot weather. In fact, he was heard to remark that he thought the summer had been rather cool. Mr. Twinkle's family was spending a lovely summer afternoon by the pool in the garden. Mrs. Twinkle was relaxing under the shade of a mushroom, while Mr. Twinkle floated pleasantly around the pool on an airbed. Sparky, Dash and Skipper played around on the springboard, and Midge practised her diving. The summer was so hot that the river Ferny had dried up, and there wasn't enough water to turn Mr. Croaker's mill wheel. "Never mind," said Mrs. Croaker. "We can all take a holiday until the rain begins to fall again." "Hooray!" cried Lily. "We can go." "Hooray!" cried Lily. "Can we go to the seaside?" "Yes, of course," chuckled Mr. Croaker. "And Dipper can sail his yacht in the sea." At the railway station, Mr. Twinkle was having trouble with some foreign visitors who had lost their tickets. Fortunately, the problem was soon solved by old Stripey, the porter, who found them lying on the platform. Meanwhile, Mr. Rusty, the engine driver, checked his wristwatch with Mr. Pickles and blew the bellbird's whistle to warn the passengers that it was time to leave. At the Jolly Roll Hotel, Mrs. Crackleberry and Poppy were serving cold drinks and ice creams to the guests at the outside tables when Jingle's taxi arrived with the foreign visitors. Mr. Crackleberry picked up the raccoon's family's luggage and led them off to their room. Unfortunately, no one had remembered to pay Jingle